I'm Nathan and welcome to my channel. So although I do a lot of sewing, I've never actually sewn anything from a pattern before. I more just like to alter clothing, you know, and stuff like that. But I went to the thrift store and I ended up finding a shit ton of corduroy fabric. And this whole thing was there for like $3, so I thought I couldn't pass it up. And I love corduroy so much, and especially corduroy pants, so I was so excited about this. I think I'm actually going to use these patterns that I found at an antique store a while ago. I really just got them as like decor since they're like, you know, fun and vintage looking, but I actually really like the pants in these photos. The only problem is that they are a women's size 12. So I do think I'm gonna have to do like a little modification to the pattern to make it work for me. But I think that they will be a good like base for our pant. I'm kind of nervous, but let's just get into it. Okay, so I think I'm going to use this one only because it just looks a little easier than this one, has less pieces, I guess. So it looks like this is the front of the pant and this one is the back. So let's just put this to the side for now. I'm just going to measure this like top part to see how big it is. That's about 10. So 40 would be it all together. Okay, so I think I know how I'm going to alter the pattern, so I'm just going to make those adjustments. Okay. Okay, now I think I've altered it to how I think it will work. I hope. Now I'm just going to very carefully try to cut this out. Now that I think I have this cut to the right stuff, I'm going to now take a look at the back pattern piece. So I'm just going to do the same thing and modify it to make it hopefully fit. I don't know yet. Okay, now I'm just going to cut it. So I'm all done cutting out this piece, and oh my god, I literally have done nothing yet and I'm so tired already. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to look at my fabric and make sure that I actually have enough for these pieces, which I probably will since I have a lot of fabric. Okay, so now I'm going to lay this all out and pray that it is enough. The real problem that I'm going to run into, I think, is that because it's corduroy, there's an obvious grain going through the fabric that I need to be mindful of. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. Don't know 100% what I'm doing, but I think things are going well. Now I think I'm just going to pin down my patterns and hopefully they're straight up with the grains of the corduroy. And yeah. Now that I have everything pinned, it is time to cut and just hope that I didn't fuck this up. I'm also really excited about these pants for fall coming up soon. I feel like they're just, corduroy is fall, period. Okay, so I have these two pieces cut out now. So I'm just going to put these off to the side for now, somewhere. Now I'm just going to put out my remaining fabric and place my patterns on there. I think I'm now supposed to turn the patterns upside down. I really hope this is right. And now that I have it laid down, I can just pin it just like before. So I'm literally just repeating the same exact steps as before. I love how I'm actually like trying to give a tutorial even though I don't know what I'm doing. If there's any like actual people who know how to sew from patterns out there, they're probably like judging me like hardcore because I don't know what I'm doing. You can probably tell. Okay, now I'm just cutting out pattern just like before. Okay, I'm finally done cutting out everything, which granted it wasn't difficult, but it was tiring, okay? So now I have all 4 of my pieces. Okay, first I'm gonna figure out which ones are the back. I think, yeah, these 2 are the back. So those 2 must be the front. Okay, as you can see, these are the 2 back pieces. You can tell they're the back because they have a little bit of a longer dip thing. I don't even know what you call it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to line them up good sides together, just like that. I'm just going to get it as like even with each other as possible. And now I'm going to find my pin cushion and just pin along this crotch area. I guess technically it's the butt since it's the back. And then now that I have that, I'm gonna go all the way down the inseam right there. I actually realized I don't think I'm supposed to go down the inseam yet. So I'm actually going to unpin that. Okay, I'm just going to put this off to the side and then grab my other thing and do the same exact thing. Okay, I think I figured out how to do everything. Now what I'm gonna do is sew the crotch and butt sort of areas, and then we will be back to do the rest. Okay, so I now have my pieces sewn together. I think to do this, what I have to do is lay down first one of my pieces, and then I'm gonna lay this one together on top of it, good sides together. And then I'm going to line up the entirety of the pant. And now I think I'm first going to pin the outside, and then when I sew that, pin the inside. The inseam, I guess. Now I have the pants like put together, but now it is time to sew the crotch and inseam area. I'm just going to try and line these up. Now that I have that pinned like that, I'm just going to go all the way along the inseam and then just pin it. Yeah. I actually realized that I want to add some pockets on the front, so I'm basically going to be adding like, I don't even know what you call them, but like these sort of pockets, you know, where they're like on the outside, because I really like the look of them, and I think they will look good on these pants. I probably should have done this before so that I could have sewn it into the side, but it's too late now. I'm kind of just gonna go for it and see how everything turns out. Okay, so I pretty much just sort of freestyled a pocket shape that I like. So now I'm just going to repeat it on the same side, and then I can just sew these onto the front, and then I have 2 pockets. Okay, so I have this pocket all sewn on, and this is what it's looking like. And this one, I just have it pinned like that. I know I haven't done the best job at explaining the pocket process, but that's mainly just because it's stressing me out a lot. And I gave up halfway through it and took a shower. But anyways, I'm just going to finish this pocket and then probably go to bed And then I'll finish this project whenever I have some spare time. Okay. Hello, it's a few days later, and yeah. So, the last thing I did before I signed off was I sewed on these front pockets, which honestly don't look too bad. I do think I could have done a little bit of a better job, but it is what it is. Now, I think what we're gonna do is work on the waistband. These are kind of like, it's kind of like lopsided. I don't know why. So I think the first thing we're actually gonna do is try to trim that a little bit just to make it a little bit more even. I'm pretty sure it's just this little bit that needs to be trimmed up a little bit. So I'm gonna try to like put these together to see. Okay, I'm just gonna cut there. Now I'm gonna take my elastic and just sort of see. I don't think I'll have enough to actually like fold it over twice. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is do like a zigzag right here and then kind of do like a tuck under thing like that, if that makes sense. So basically right now what I'm gonna do is make a zigzag all around the edge of this fabric. And while I'm here, I'm actually just going to start zigzagging, or you could also use a like a lock stitch, I think that's what it's called. If you have one, I don't. But basically we're just gonna go over the edges that we sewed so that they don't fray as well. Okay, so I have these on now. Now what I'm gonna do is just take some elastic and sort of just like measure out how much I need. Okay, I feel like that's a pretty good amount. Okay, I'm not 100% sure what to do now, but I think the first thing I'm gonna do is turn these inside out. So I might try to like just make a little like canal or something and then leave a little portion of it open, and then I can kind of just like guide this through that hem, I think. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I think I'm just going, I have like part of it pinned, and I think what I'm gonna do now is just go to the sewing machine and sew these together, and I don't know. I'll be right back. I'm back, and I just sewed it together. I'm just going to fully cover this elastic band. Okay, so this is like what I kind of came up with, so I'm just gonna sew it and hope that it works. It is time for me to now hem the legs now that I have the elastic band all put in. So these are all kind of like not the same length for some reason. So I just kind of folded them all on top of each other, and then I'm gonna use the shortest one as like a marker for the rest of them. Now that I have it all cut off, I'm going to hem them now. So I'm gonna turn them inside out because I just find this way to be the easiest way to hem pants. Then I'm just going to lay it down and then fold it over once. I would say about like 1 inch to 1/2 inch. And then now I'm just going to fold it one more time just like that. And now you can just get your pins and pin it. Okay, so I just finished hemming these legs. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a little bit of like snipping off some just random threads and then iron them. And then I think it'll be time for the grand reveal. So yeah. Are you guys ready to see how these turned out? This is how they turned out. Okay, so they're pants. First of all, one thing that I kind of noticed off the bat is that they're like super like, I don't know, like mid to low rise, which is weird because I really thought this pattern was gonna be like, not up to the belly button, but at least like, you know, a little bit upper than they are, which is just like right here. Okay, the pockets also have like a little bit of like this weird like stuff going on. And probably my last big complaint is that it is a little bit like, you know, messy looking almost, if you will. But honestly, for my first thing that I've ever sewn from a pattern, I honestly don't think that they turned out that bad. And who cares, because they are very comfortable. It is like the first thing I've ever sewn for a pattern, and honestly, like the fact that it is still like a wearable item, kind of, I am impressed. Okay, my thoughts on sewing from patterns is, one, it was like fun, because like whenever I thrift flip something, I always have like a weird guilt about ruining the item, but like with this, I was just like, it's just, you know, thrifted fabric, so who cares if I ruin it, you know? So that was kind of nice just to have like that, I don't know, sort of like freeness. There was times when it was very stressful because I'm like, what do I do? Yep, my pants, how they turned out. Those are my final thoughts, and yeah. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you later. Okay,